All right, all right. I think we are up and running. We are live. We got attorney Kim Kia Harris joining us on today as well too. I know I'm a little bit behind. I said 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, but I went a little bit long at the dentist, and so I'm about 19 minutes after 1 o'clock. But we are here, and live and in living color. I have attorney Kim Kia Harris with me. She was so grateful and so awesome to join me on today. I wanted to just share the news that's been going around. A lot of people already heard the news earlier today. Today, in a courtroom in Shelby County, Tennessee, Judge Paula Skahan ruled that Brother Purvis Payne's sentencing, Kim Kia, will run not consecutively, but concurrently. So we are ecstatic. We are happy about that. What you think about that, Kim Kia, first of all?
Oh, I am just so grateful because I was in tears all morning and praying. And I had, like I was telling Dr. Johnston today, I listened to Jay Moss's song that says, if you pray, you don't worry. And I had to repeat that over and over to get that in my spirit, because there was just so many things coming and distracted. And that's when you have to take control of those thoughts, like Paul said, and bend them to the will of God. That was really what we were doing today. I had to do for myself today. So I was in the middle of a Zoom meeting when the news came, and try not to shout in the middle of my meeting. But it is indeed a wonderful day, because it would not have been done. This Purvis would have been gone if this community had not said, we need to step up and have our voices be heard. So everybody who shared an article, read an article, stood on a corner, just passed the word, anything that the fact that you even know Purvis's name made a difference, because he went from being invisible.
Listen.
That they could do anything to him in the dark. But when the light was shown, he became so visible that is why I believe justice is reigning through Shelby County. And it had to be demanded. It was not something that was going to happen without the demand from those people. And so we just are on here because we're so grateful to God, because God allowed us to be part of this process where we got to see him work. This is God's work. But God's work went forth through so many people that took up this cause. And this binds us all together, and I'm just overjoyed. My heart is just overflowing, and I'm just so excited that I'm trying not to shout because I'm actually still at work myself. But it is great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. I know from the depth of the soul of Purvis Payne and his family that you cared enough to just whatever part you played in your role. There was no small roles, but there were so many people who played a role. So thank you.
Well, listen, you said, you just said it. Thank yous. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to go live today. I just wanted to thank all of the people who made up and who make up, I should say, the Free Purvis Payne Coalition. I want to talk and thank all of the people who, of course, been on the street corner. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But today is a monumental day. It wasn't, you just said something, though.
We renovated the store with an all new look.
Coming on in here. But it was not that long ago that Brother Purvis actually had a death date. A date actually like over his head. And somehow that was removed. Shout out to Governor Lee on that one, because Governor Lee decided because of the COVID and the inability to be, I guess, in person or to do that up close, and couldn't be 6 feet away or whatever the case may be. Whatever his decision and whatever the reasoning behind the decision, he elected to kind of what's the term? What's the term? Extend or vacate or just, temporarily suspend maybe that sentence. Yeah, a reprieve. And so they gave us the opportunity to begin to do some more work with the state legislator, G.A. Hardaway, who was in the courtroom today. Shout out to who is affectionately called the People's Rep, Representative G.A. Hardaway, for his work in getting the legislator to actually pass a law where Purvis's intellectual disability could have at least been brought up in court.
Streamlined it, and it was with bipartisan support.
Yes.
Like you can't look at the country today and how divided it is, especially around politics. But to have a red state like Tennessee, where Republicans and Democrats came together for it was, you know what? Even though it benefits other people, it was in the spirit of Purvis Payne. Don't ever forget that. That it originated with Purvis Payne case, and that cause was taken up by G.A. Hardaway and the Republicans as well. So we again, that's why he said we have to give Governor Lee, we have to thank him for setting in place and giving us the opportunity. And he made them make sure that ball was moving. And then he signed it into law. Those things are crazy. I was like, no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
Right. I mean, and because when people began to start to look at this case, Kim Kia, and I think you will agree with me, when people began to look at this case, when they went to purvispayne.org, by the way, you can still go to purvispayne.org to get the latest updates. If you still have not gone to purvispayne.org, please do so. I need somebody in the chat to put that in the comment section for us. Purvispayne.org, P-E-R-V-I-S, Payne, P-A-Y-N-E.org. If you haven't gone there, please do so. But when people went there, Kim Kia, when we were telling people to go there, people were reading this case, and then they began to start asking questions. Yep. They were like, wait a minute, now this doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound right. And then remember that, okay, what happened to the evidence? What happened to this DNA? What has happened? If you're so sure,
still don't know.
I still don't know, but if people began to start asking questions, and then when you start hearing the story about Purvis and you start hearing other people talk about him, people that know him, people that's been with him. Thank you, Brother Clayton. I see Clayton is on. He put it up there for us. Thank you, Brother Clayton. Thank you. All right. Reverend Martin, thank you for joining in. Please chime in, make comments, ask questions, do whatever. We're going to be here just for a second, but we want to just celebrate this monumental decision by Judge Paula Skahan today. Concurrent sentencing for Brother Purvis Payne. But yeah, back to the whole notion of going to purvispayne.org and then beginning to ask questions about the case. And when you begin to ask those questions, then you start to look at other things that might be. Thank you, Sister Kay. Good to see you on here. Kay, my good friend Kay Erickson is on watching as well. Click that share button. Let people know that we are alive. We are alive. We are live, and we're talking about Purvis Payne case. But when people started to ask questions, people began to start learning more about Purvis Payne, learning about his story, learning about him. And Kim Kia, it started to snowball.
Man, you know what? I remember growing up in a small Baptist church in Woodstock, St. Matthew's, and a lot of churches, especially, I'm sure all churches pretty much have, when you take communion and it says in remembrance of me, nice little carved thing. And then you look at different traditions, especially like you look at the Jewish tradition of remembering, when God brought him out of Egypt and going through, being in exile for 40 years. But God said you need to take that time to remember. Yeah. And the reason why that's so important is because we tend to move on from miracles and take them for granted. And God wants us to reflect, take that time to sit back and just kind of see, because I feel like we miss a lot of handprints of God because we just moved on. So this is a good time to sit down and reflect about where we started with Purvis's case and where we are today. And like Dr. Johnson said, this was a year and a half that we've been involved in this fight, and it does seem to have gone quickly. We've done a lot in a lot of time, but it was hard work. There were people, Dr. Johnson and his people, on that corner every Wednesday when, in the storm, when the weather was hot or when it was cold and it was rainy. Those kind of things, they make an impact because they show commitment and dedication and just a belief on, I want this, I think this is wrong, and I want to see it be right. And so I appreciate this opportunity to reflect. I appreciate this opportunity to sit back and just see the handprints of God all over this situation. And I think that everyone, if you can start with purposepain.org, that's how we all got involved in this case. We saw when his attorney, Kelly Henry, looked Purvis in the eye and said, I believe you. I believe you're innocent. And then she took the steps to contact the Innocence Project. And the Innocence Project looked at it and said, we believe you're innocent. We're going to put our name and our resources behind you. And then we started to have people come in and they all looked at it and they said, there's something wrong here. I firmly believe the way God has walked out the steps for Purvis, the reason why we haven't had the quote unquote easy wins is because God is doing something so much bigger with this case. He is shining a light in dark places. He's shining a light in places that folk want to keep hid. And he's showing us that this system, that this justice system is unjust. And it's not just one Purvis Payne. There are a whole bunch of them in the system. When God lifts him up, he is allowing these other purposes to come behind him. So we need to be vigilant. One of the things that I'm going to ask, an action item, I just got a text message from Reverend Cheryl Beard, and she told me, I just got through calling the DA's office telling Amy Wyrick, do not appeal this. So I'm going to say we need an action item, Dr. Johnson. You always say something.
I was going to get to that. I was just trying to, get the celebratory out of the way, and because our work is not done. Our work is not done. First of all, you might know this person who just checked in on my Facebook page. Some woman named Carolyn Bowen. Do you know there's some Carolyn Bowen woman?
I think she birthed me. Yeah.
So glad to have Sister Bowen. That's Kim Kia's lovely mother, and she has just adopted me as a son. So
yes, she has. Yeah.
Except that
I'm no longer the only child. No.
We got the Reverend Vahisha Hassan has checked in. Vahisha leading up the Nashville efforts on the Free Purvis Payne.
Amen, like an atomic bomb, she did.
Oh my God, she is so awesome.
Re-energized us when we were getting fatigued. Right. She brought in new energy.
So one of the things that I do want to talk about, since you have brought up about, call to actions and because we're not through. This is just a moment in which we stop and just thank God, of course, and thank each other, and to talk about. I mean, every now and then you got to celebrate, where you can. This is hard work. Anybody that's ever did any work, and I'm just going to say any work. Yeah, you fill in the blank. Any work involving justice and involving standing up and challenging powers and standing and bearing witness. That's hard work. And so every now and then we get a chance just to stop, take a breath, and just reflect. And that's what we're trying to do on today. But our work is not done. We'll be back out on the street corner this Wednesday at 4:00. Now, let me just say, since I got everybody's attention now, good to have Sister Henry Giles, one of our graduate students at the University of Memphis and in the Department of Communication and Film. She's an awesome filmmaker in her own right, have done some wonderful work on justice issues. So we are so thankful that she has checked in. But this Wednesday, I need all of you in Memphis and in Nashville, because I know Reverend Hassan is going to be out on her corner in Nashville, standing at John Lewis Parkway and John Robeson Parkway or what, put it in the comment section. I don't want to mess it up, Deej. But anyway, we're going to be out, and this will be our last Wednesday out until further notice. Because right now we are just in a holding pattern, seeing what's about to take place. But we want all of you to come out, especially if you have been out, if you've just been out for one day, for 1 minute, please, please, please come out and celebrate with us. Shout out to Judge Skahan for making the decision. It weighed heavily on her. She talked about it in her written decision. She talked about it verbally from the bench, that this was a tough decision because she really, empathized with the family of Sharice Christopher, and we do too, and that's why we are out, because we believe that the wrong person has been incarcerated for 34 plus years.
Right.
So we'll talk about that too a little bit later. But also, she looked at the law and looked at what happened, and then you just could not, and you just had to be at the sentencing hearing, you just had to be there because you just could not dismiss those 19 witnesses that Attorney Kelly Henry, and we are going to give her a shout out as well too. But Kelly Henry is awesome in her own.
The best to ever do it.
But those 19 witnesses that come started with Rolanda, his sister, and Elder Payne, Purvis's dad, all the way to guards at the prison, saying that Purvis is a model. Purvis is just, oh my God, incredible. The way that they talked about him.
Wow. And
you cannot, now, for 34 plus years, no incidents, nothing, no write-ups. Now, listen, I'm a peace-loving guy, but I probably would have been written up for yelling at somebody or something. But that's the point.
Exactly.
And so when all of that was taken in,
wow.
She came down with the ruling that she came down with, that Purvis posed no risk to public safety. And that's if he's paroled, when he's eligible for parole, which we think now is going to be around 5 years. So, and we count that as a win because the brother had a death sentence. The brother was on death row.
A month before his scheduled execution, Kelly Henry's attorney had to go in there and help him pick out his spiritual advisor. Literally, that was it. He had to pick out who was going to be in the death chamber with him. She had to make that decision, make that walk to have that conversation with him. So don't feel like that death was not imminent. And, literally, there were other, I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm thinking there were 2 to 3 other inmates that were executed in Tennessee right in this time frame. So Tennessee was making executions. And if you look at the news right before Donald Trump left office, he executed, was it 17 people or 13? In the 7 or 9 months, death chambers in this country were moving. In the middle of that, Lord.
We talked about G.A. Holloway, Representative G.A. Holloway's efforts to get that bill passed, where we could even, have there's some technicality that, that stated that we know, well, Supreme Court said you can't execute people with intellectual disabilities, right? So, but Purvis, of course, was convicted before that ruling came down. So Tennessee did not have a way that you can go back and say, hey, we want to argue this now because it's the law. Right. Can we just talk about, you mentioned about Kim Kia, about Attorney Kelly going in, picking out his advisor, talking about, his last moments on earth. getting him ready for that.
Yes.
Can we talk about now how important that law was that we were able to, push and get through and have the governors assign? Because just this past Thursday, we don't have to go far, just last week, today is Monday, the Thursday, 4 days ago.
Yeah.
The state of Alabama.
Yep.
Brother Reeves, Matthew Reeves.
Yeah.
The state of Alabama killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knew that he had an intellectual disability. But they did not have a mechanism to even to go back and to at least allow his lawyers to argue and to show and to demonstrate and to prove that he had an intellectual disability.
Just now, in Purvis' case, the 3 branches of government were all involved in what we saw for Purvis.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's crazy. We see the judicial branch, we see the executive branch, and we see the legislative branch. It took everybody to save this one man. And like Dr. Johnson said, that didn't happen for the man in Alabama. And
so, I'm sitting here when I saw that come across my social media feed, I had to stop. And I will openly confess a tear, maybe 2 or 3, or maybe even more, hit my eyes, because I am now part of a movement. I'm in a movement where that could have easily been Purvis Payne. And so again, this is why we're live, thanking all of you, because you brought attention, you brought attention to this case. And people began to start asking questions. And guess who else started asking questions? Reporters, the media, because they weren't talking about Purvis Payne. They didn't know anything about Purvis Payne before they began to say, oh my God, what is going on here with this case? And I want to shout them out as well too, because they did a good job on presenting the facts of the case. Not trying to, weigh it one way or the other, not trying to sugarcoat it, in our favor or in the favor of the state. Here it is. But they did start asking, questions about, DNA and missing evidence and what else got exposed? Shelby County. All of a sudden, people started to say, wait a minute, why is all the people on death row out of Shelby County?
Why the majority of them African
American? What's going on here?
Why does Shelby County not have a conviction integrity unit, but Nashville does? What's the difference between 200 miles?
Yeah. So people started asking those questions. I see Brother Bass has checked in. My front brother, Ricky Bass, thank you, man, for checking in with us on today. But we asking all of you, we are on, shout out to Gifts of Life Ministries, my church that I love. We are on.
Thank you for gifting us with Dr. Johnson. So he's thanking everybody, but I always say the best phone call I made was to Dr. Andre Johnson. And he took the baton and twirled it in the front. He was a drum major for a lot of what you see. And so Dr. Johnson, thank you, because you had the experience, but more importantly, you had the heart and the passion. And because you are such a fantastic leader, you were so easy to follow. And thank you for what you've done for us and continue to do. And I appreciate you so much. I want to make sure that you understand that you are appreciated as well.
I appreciate that. I really do. I remember that phone call. I was thinking about it today, actually, after hearing from the judge and how you just called and just say, hey, introduce yourself, and I know you.
Because of my mother.
Oh, your lovely mother,
Yes.
I think she was the one that told you to call me now, was it not?
Oh yeah, she's been calling me. And she told me, everything you've done, because I don't even live in Memphis anymore. So she's like, oh, Andre's in everything. Oh, then give me his phone number. I'm calling him. Right?
So shout out again to Mother.
My mom, yes.
Mama Callan. And so we began a what we call a soft campaign to bear witness on the street corner at Union and McLean summoning up the anti-death penalty advocates that used to stand out there, standing on those shoulders, standing in that spirit. And our only goal was to bring attention to the case. So when people see a group of folk on a street corner with free Purvis Payne, where's the DNA, check the DNA, whatever the first couple of signs were, we wanted people just to say, what are those crazy people doing on the street corner? And why? Who is Purvis Payne? And they asked me to go to purvispayne.org. Why? Let me go to purvispayne.org and see. And that's exactly what you do in a soft campaign, when you just want to bring attention to the case. And when the media started to get wind of it, they're saying something is happening here. Yeah. They came out, they saw what we were doing. They saw the commitment, I think, and they knew that something was much bigger. And that got the ball rolling on the ground, so to speak. And we are, this month, well, tomorrow will be February. So tomorrow will be 15 months that we have been out at the corner of Union and McLean in Memphis, Tennessee, bearing witness every Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Like clockwork. You mentioned earlier, come rain, come sleet, come snow, come winds, come whatever. Just this past week, it was kind of, chilly. So we had about 4, maybe 5 folk out, but we bared witness and we wanted people to know. Now, this Wednesday, we want to have 50 folk. We want to have 100 folk. We want
all those corners covered.
And all the corners filled.
Dr. Johnson, I also want to throw out, since we are definitely talking about gratitude, Ben F. Jones chapter of the National Bar Association. They were the first one to
got it
up and say no more. And Latrina eternally.
Latrina Ingram, call her name.
Call her name out, because she called me in Chicago. Was like, we need to do something about post George Floyd. And then we saw Purvis Payne, and we just jumped on it. And the chapter said, we will help you in having a press conference, which kicked off the awareness, because all of that takes courage, guys. It's not, everybody's not equipped to stand up against adversity. And so sometimes people are just very comfortable with what their life is. Right. Cause any problems. So thank you for being that good trouble. Thank you, for doing that, because and seeing that good fight and jumping in it. So yes, I thank Ben F. Jones chapter of the National Bar Association for all that they've done and the support and just how excited they are about everything that devolves with this case too. Just want to make sure all our thank yous, and there's so many people.
No, it's so many,
yeah. But I want to start off with the beginning, so appreciate that.
And I want to just thank, all of the people again who joined us at the corner. Some have been there from the very, very beginning. Yes. I want to thank everybody who came out on September the 8th. That was our 1-year anniversary of standing on the corner, bearing witness. And from the first moment when we first stood on the corner, I think it was September the 8th, 2020, till today, let me tell you what you have done. All the people, all of you who are part of the Free Purvis Payne Coalition, this is what you have done. This is the stuff that you sit back and you reflect on, maybe not right now, but later on in your life. This is what you can reflect on, and this is what you can say without, blowing smoke, without, hyperbole. This is what you can tell folks. You can tell your children this, that you were part of an effort to literally save a man's life. Can I say this again? To literally save a man's life. You heard Kim Kia. It was that close. Spiritual advisors were being contacted. Preparations were being made. He had a death date. But today, he has a possibility, at least in 5 years. And we're not through. We hope to kind of narrow that. But
got more stuff up our sleeve.
Right. Minimum of 5 years.
Don't get discouraged
Go
with
up.
your
Right, that
five.
was it.
We got
Yeah,
other stuff.
don't need to get discouraged. Oh. I feel like preaching. You're gonna make me sneak a preaching here in a minute. No. Don't get caught up and don't get dispirited over the 5 years, because from a death date to a possibility of parole within, and I'm just talking about now when we started bearing witness, in a 15-month, that's you. I want you to own that. I want you to receive that. You helped do that.
Yes.
You gave us the time to develop case. You gave Kelly Henry the energy, the prayers, the support. And I'm telling you what I know.
No. That all day, every day.
All of the people galvanized around Purvis Payne. Because let me tell you, I can only imagine, because I'm out there, bearing witness, and I'm standing and I'm doing these type of things, right? So I get it, and I know how I'm feeling, but I can only imagine how Attorney Kelly Henry is feeling. Fighting for people, let's just get real. Can we just be real for a moment? Fighting for people that a lot of folk don't really care about. Because that's how we look at this.
Convicted murderers, rapists, the lowest of the
why,
low.
well, yeah, why we even care about that?
Nobody cares about it. Yeah.
And so for her to get the support that she received from the community, from the Nashville, Memphis, Murfreesboro connection, and can I just say nationwide, because 750,000 folks signed a petition, and over 150 disparate groups around the state of Tennessee all kind of convalesced together to make up the Free Purvis Payne Coalition. And to see all of that had to do her heart some good. And I know that she will begin, she will share her own feelings and reflections a little bit later on. But this is a monumental day. And I want you, Free Purvis Payne Coalition members, I want you to really, really take a part of it, to feel this, and join us one last Wednesday, this Wednesday, February the 2nd at 4:00. I'm gonna bring the bullhorn. We'll be back out. Last time we're gonna celebrate. We want to thank all of the people who were responsible for this day happening. We hope that Representative J. Holloway can just make an appearance, and anybody else that need and want to make an appearance. If you are, if you have not,
invite those Democratic candidates to come out.
Oh well,
for district attorney.
See, I wasn't even gonna go there, Kim Kidd.
Well, you know me, I have the.
I'm drinking. I ain't got no tea.
3 candidates for a DA that are on the Democratic ticket. Come on out tomorrow.
You mean on Wednesday?
On Wednesday. I'm sorry. Today. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Just come
Yeah.
out and say hello to the people. That's all we're saying. We're not saying this case. We'll deal with the next action later. But come on out.
Right. Come on out. Help us celebrate. Help us bear witness again, because we are not through. This is just a shift. We will take a small break and decide what we would do next. But we do have one action that we are asking people. And Kim Kia, you already mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. When this case, as soon as Judge Skahan ruled and read the decision, it was immediate, response was, hey, we're gonna appeal. The state will appeal. But why? why are you gonna, no. So here's the action. You ready? Kim Kier, you already mentioned it. Can we call the district attorney office, Amy Wyrick, and ask her in the nicest of ways, don't appeal this decision. This is a fair decision. It is a legal decision. And I don't have her information up right now, but if anybody can put that up in the comment section for us, because that's what we need to do. Our action is Attorney General Wyrick. Please do not appeal this decision. Can we get people to start doing that like today? Can we get that done today? I'm trying to pull it up here.
I just put it in the chat.
You did? Okay, great. All right, you put it in the chat here. All right, here we go. Oh, and Sister Kay put it already in our, there you go. The phone number is 901-222-1300. 901-222-1300. Let's do it like this, because that's easy to do, right? Just pick up the phone and dial. Let's do it one time a day. Yeah, let's call one time a day. Everybody. Anybody with me? Anybody with me? I got two. We're going to call that number every day. We're going to say, hey, heard about this decision. Good job, but we don't want, it's not in the best interest for you to appeal. And can I just say that since you already kind of, jumped out there, Kim Kia, and call out some of those candidates, can I just ask the ministers respectfully who have an audience with Attorney Amy Wyrick on a, maybe regular or maybe even a not so regular basis. Can you please share this message that the Free Purpose Payne Coalition and the citizens of Memphis and Shelby County really would not want her to appeal this case? Like the old folks say, let that alone. Let that alone. Let that alone now. Let that alone. That's what the next action is, the immediate action. We'll be back, of course, with any more actions, but our immediate action is 901-222-1300. Please call the district attorney's office. Let them know how you feel. And like you said, somebody's already done that. You said Sister Cheryl Beard has already done that.
Yeah, she's kicking it off, doing it in her spirit.
He kicked it off, and other people are going to do that as well.
We're going to start sending that out through all our networks.
All of our networks. So please share all of the information that you received today about the decision. Hashtag Free Purpose Payne. Hashtag Free Purpose Payne. And please join us this Wednesday, our last Wednesday until further notice. Let's pack all four corners. Let us come out and celebrate, and let us come out and reflect, thank each other, but also come out praising.
Yes.
Because we cannot forget that all of the stuff that we have done, this was a moral action as well. These actions and this action was bathed in prayer.
Amen.
Each and every time We had a court hearing. We met outside of 201. We did so today at 201 Poplar at the corner of Washington and B.B. King, and we prayed and we shared with the media and with others about our belief, not only in the injustice, but of his innocence as well, which was not even on the docket, not even on the table with this past hearing. But one day it will come up. But until that day, we stay focused. We stay prayed up. This is a moral movement. The God of justice, as Minister De'Aaron prayed today, the God of justice, the God of justice heard our cries. And that God is acting. And I am still wanting to discern where that God is leading.
Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne. So, I'm excited. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson, for having me on here.
Thank you for being on.
Sorry, I can't be there on Wednesday, but I'll be there.
Oh, that's all right. No problem. No problem.
Thank you.
I remember back in September the 8th, the Chicago group. Y'all was out there. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I have a hard time getting them out now.
All right.
You notice
you gotta be real dedicated now. My.
Offer because I'm like, how many inches of snow respecting this? But I am asking them to participate in the call thing. So yes, my Chicago group is strong as well. So, yes, thank you. But I'm gonna have to go. But thank you again for having me.
We both gonna go.
Gonna leave? Okay, I didn't know if you have more.
No. Thank you again. I'm just gonna end it this way. Again, thank you. Come on out Wednesday at 4:00 Central Standard Time at the corner of Union and McLean. Come and celebrate with us. And before you leave, can I just close us out with prayer?
Yes, please. Absolutely.
Gracious God and our Lord, we give you thanks again for the ruling. We thank you for this day. We thank you for all that were involved. We thank you for your spirit. And we ask that you continue to rest, rule, and abide. Lift us now with your love. Grab us with your grace. Help us to be the people that you have called us to be. We thank you for all that you have done, all that you are doing, and all that you will do. Be with Brother Purvis and his family as they continue to discern what it is you will have for them to do, and they continue to trust in you. Lord, hear our prayer today and give us the energy and the wherewithal to continue to bear witness until Purvis come home.
Amen.
Give us the strength and help us to hashtag Free Purvis Payne. In your name, we say amen and ashe. All right.
So Purvis comes home, everybody.
Great. We may do another live sometime, maybe later today or tomorrow, just to kind of pump up that.
Get Kelly and Rolanda. I'm sure that they'll.
Oh, great! Yeah. So thank you all again. Please click the share button, share this, let people know that we were here and we're live. We'll leave this up so people can go back and see it and join and make comments. But thank you again. God bless you and may God keep you. Thank you, Kim Kia. Thank you. And thank you all of the folk who shouted us out. Thank you as well.